Today I'd like to explain to you the theme composition assignment. So if you would turn in your sketchbook to page 26, you can follow along with me. What you will be doing is you will be using 5 of the 6 basic shapes that we learned, and you will create a composition, so a grouping of 5 lifelike objects that are value shaded, textured and detailed, and you're going to put them into a great, interesting, good composition. And keep in mind that I've listed again right here is what is going to make that a great composition. So you want your objects to be overlapping and or touching. This creates depth with the objects in foreground, middle ground, and background. Now, not everything has to be overlapping and touching, but some of the objects in your picture. The other thing is, and I've already told you, the rules are to do 5 lifelike objects. So that is number 2, odd number. The third is different sized objects. Avoid placing objects just in a up and down line or just in a horizontal line, but use both of those sized objects in your placement. So you will notice that what I haven't explained is what is themed composition. The theme is where you take, and in this picture that I drew, I did the birthday party theme. So you will notice that I did a present, which is one shape, and that would be probably a rectangle here. I've done a pizza box, so we could call that our square. I've done a beverage, which is my cylinder. I've done a birthday party hat, which is the triangle. And I've also done oval balloons and circular balloons. So if you were to count my objects, you could say 1, 2, 3, 4. My grouping of balloons could be 5, or I could even individually count my balloons, and then I would have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I followed the rules there. So maybe the stumper is themed composition. What I mean is I would like you to pick an idea, and I have listed on the bottom of your page here a variety of themes. Again, you might have some really better themes that you'd like to do, but if you can't think of anything, here are some possible things you could do. So you could think of a sport theme. You could think of the birthday theme, kitchen, an office, a bedroom, a 50s diner soda shop, a bakery. You could put many food items and make a theme. Camping, desk or school, music, any sort of a holiday, Halloween, Easter, Christmas. Again, these are just some ideas to possibly think about. So you may say, well, how will this be graded? So what I've done for you in your sketchbook is on page 27, I've made a checklist. So as you begin to rough draft your ideas, you can go through and check off to see that you are hitting all the targets of the assignment. On page 28 and page 29 of your sketchbook, this is what I call your rough draft pages. And this is where you just do some simple sketches, and you might have 5 different ideas. And once you start laying them out on paper, some of them might be better than others. So I'm going to go back to going through how will it be graded. First of all, I'm going to look to see that you have 5 of the 6 shapes represented in your lifelike objects. Are all of the objects 3-dimensional? And the only way you get 3D is by shading. Have you shaded your objects? So each object should have a light, a middle, and a dark shade. Your shading lines should go in the direction of your object. So if it's a circle, you want to go in a curved motion. Do you have good transition between your blending? No crazy rough, go in every direction sort of lines. But again, are you rendering? Are you using the side of your pencil to get light, middle, dark shades? Light, middle, dark shades. What about the composition layout? Are your objects overlapping, or some of your objects overlapping and touching? Have you used 5, 7, 9 objects? Are they different sizes, and are some of them going up and down and some of them going sideways? Have you used templates? A template could be a ruler or a straight edge for items that need a straight edge. Have you added details to your picture? That could be labels, that could be maybe an orange, that could be dots to indicate orange peel. And that gets to textures. Have you put some textures in objects that are textural? So that is what the themed composition is. You pick the theme, objects that relate to that theme, and you put them into a great grouping picture. What I want to do is I will show you some examples and explain through my examples. First of all, my first example, and my examples are laminated, so they have kind of a plastic sheen just for protection. Here's a masterpiece actually painting, and what I love about this painting is you notice that we've got pears and they're sat different directions. Some are going upward, some are laying sideways. Really wonderful grouping. And the other thing about this picture that I want to note is that it is an example, a great example of a table. My stuff is sitting on a table, but often people will draw a table, have these big long legs, and tons of white space with a little tiny picture on top. That's fairly boring. This same picture, but so much more interesting, large and big. So be careful that you don't leave lots of blank space. That creates boredom for the viewer. My next example is a magazine advertisement. And why I show this to you is because it's a perfect breakfast theme. And I want to also note that not every item has to be overlapping and touching. Some of your items, but not all of them. And you may say, well, why overlapping and touching? Well, what it does is, if something is overlapping, it creates depth in your picture. It creates things looking close, things looking middle, things looking far away. And it also creates brain movement of the viewer. The viewer stays and looks at this picture to figure things out. My next examples are actually student examples. This student did a fabulous job of picking children's toys. And so she's got all of the shapes represented in here. Super, super fabulous job. She has a ball, she has a drum and a teddy bear and a rocking horse and a top. Really excellent example of capturing items of different shapes. All the shapes are represented. The shading is wonderful. She has darks, middles, and light shading and tons of detail. Excellent job. Here's another one that uses the Alice and Wonderland theme. Let's see if I can get the lighting to show a bit better. I think it shows better over here. So you notice that she's got the cards and the pocket watch, and the cylinder is the potion. Really, really nice example of coming up with lifelike objects that fit the different objects that I've asked you to include on your picture. This next example is a desk scene. So in this sample, you will see a globe on the desk. You will see books on the desk. You will see a pencil container. You will see a calendar. Again, doesn't show super well on the camera. Here's another sample. I think some really great shading with a microphone and drums and chords and speakers for those of you that maybe love musical things. Here's another example of a birthday party theme. Balloons, a plate of cookies, a box, ice cream cones, a cake, a birthday theme. Here is a holiday theme of Easter. Again, present, goodies, Easter eggs, a bunny rabbit in a basket. Nice capturing of this theme. Here's another desk sort of theme. A globe and crayons, an apple, a juice box, pencils, a little vase of daffodil flowers. Again, why do I show these? They might help you with some possible ideas. Here's a Halloween theme. Really nice shading, and that's what I will be looking for, shading, detail. Here's another Halloween theme. A little bit difficult to see with the shine, but again, capture 5 of the 6 shapes in 5 lifelike objects in a good composition setting.